I'd like to call to order the February 9th meeting of the Shelby Township Planning Commission, and I'll ask the secretary to call the roll.
Mr. Deschaux?
Here.
Mr. Long?
Here.
Ms. Baker?
Here.
Ms. Casali? Here. Mr. Tuner?
Here.
Mr. Apone?
Here.
Mr. LeRae?
Here.
Chairman Moffett, we have a quorum.
A quorum and a full house. It's been a while. First item is approval of the agenda. Under Planning Director's Report, I'd like to add the 2025 annual report. If there's no objections, I'll entertain.
So move.
Support. Moved and supported. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is approval of the minutes from the January 12th meeting.
So move.
Support.
It's moved and supported. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. 4 substantive items this evening, first being site plan number 26-01, Tony D'Ambro. Is there a petitioner or a representative? So anyone that speaks this evening, I will need your name and your address, and then when you're done speaking, sign in on the table next. So what are you requesting and your reasons for it?
Well, good evening. My name is Joe Latozis with Design House Architecture, 3300 Auburn Road, Auburn Hills, Michigan. So we are here, or I am here, on behalf of the property owner, Mr. Tony D'Ambro, to present a facade refresh and minor site improvements for an existing tenant shopping center at 51061 Mound Road. There's no building additions, change in use, or site expansion associated with the project or proposed project. We are just updating the facade and doing some minor parking lot improvements. So the building was originally constructed in 1966 as a mid-century modern architecture style, characterized by its long horizontal form, flat roof lines, and minimal architectural ornamentation. Our goal with the project is to enhance that character of the mid-century modern style by adding a composite shiplap siding on the upper facade around the front of the building, wrapping the existing painted steel columns that are underneath that kind of canopy with a similar composite wood material, and then paint the existing stone and masonry a neutral gray color that kind of enhances that wood and kind of sits with the mid-century modern style. So these are intended to prove a warmer, more contemporary appearance that kind of maintain the building's original proportions. Along with that, we will be sealing and restriping, or proposed to seal and restripe the parking lot, and replace the existing wall pack light fixtures with a LED wall pack in the same positions. So we received the planning department's comments. We reviewed those thoroughly, and there are some items that are addressed in the review. We'd like to kind of talk about those. One is landscaping, so the requirement for right-of-way trees and parking lot trees. If you've been to the site, you know that the building and the parking lot occupy almost the entire site. There's very limited space along Mound Road to plant any trees. There is some space on the west side of the site that's currently lawn that we could position some trees. So we're proposing to work with staff to finalize the amount of trees. I believe there's 19 required. If we can get 19 to fit there. Work with staff to make sure we meet the best way we can the intent of the ordinance. Roof-mounted equipment screening came up, so this is a tricky one. So the existing building facade, it's not really the parapet, the wall doesn't stick above the roof, it's kind of even. The way it's constructed does not lend itself to have a parapet extended above the roof without substantial structural modification to the building. There's no way to kind of add that extension. So the only way we could really get the screening to happen is to mount the screening directly to the units, or do some sort of screen wall on the roof, which brings in the possibility of roof penetrations, which no one likes, because it could potentially cause leaks. So the best ideal approach would be to provide that screening on the units. After talking with the building owner, There are some units that potentially could be replaced in the coming years, and potentially some other ones that would need to be replaced based on the future new tenant needs as they come in. So we would like to provide that screening as these kind of things come up over the next couple of years, to bring it into compliance, but not bring it into total compliance with this work that we're proposing. Lighting and photometrics, it was brought that we missed a couple pole-mounted lights on the photometric plan. So we're working on having that updated so we can have the full photometric plan that shows compliance to the zoning ordinance. So we want to say thank you for having us, and we believe that this project will bring a much-needed upgrade to the building to kind of entice future tenants to come in and fill some empty spaces. We believe that not only for the tenants, but the end users, kind of the beautification of this building helps bring everybody, feel good about it. So we respectfully request Planning Commission to approve the site plan, subject to the conditions outlined in the review. And I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Great, thank you. As someone that drives by that shopping center on a very regular basis,
Yeah.
someone who has actually patroned that shopping center long before most of the folks in this room probably were born, I appreciate what your client is looking to do. Nick, you did the review on this one. Do you want to offer the planning director's report?
Yes, thank you, Chairman. So thank you, Mr. Latosis, for doing an excellent job summarizing the project and responding to some of our outstanding comments. There still are a few things that I would like to address before the Planning Commission. First of all, like you said, it was constructed in 1966, so it's been around for a long time. I wasn't able to find any more recent permits for any modifications, so I can only assume that it's the original facade, if not a minor change since the original construction. But with that original construction, it was approved before our zoning ordinance standards took effect. So a lot of the site could be brought up to par with a lot of our standards. Mr. Latosis already addressed the tree planting requirement. Yeah, there will be some difficulty with getting those in the right-of-way along Mound Road. So taking the trees and planting them elsewhere on the site, getting the exact number done, I think is a good alternative since there is limited space for that existing building. For the lighting, you already addressed that. I think just revising the photometric plan will address that concern. For the roof-mounted equipment, I understand the issue with the parapet wall. Really, we're just looking for some sort of screening on those roof-mounted equipment, the HVACs, all those units.
Yeah.
So the method that you propose would be acceptable to make sure you identify it on the site plan, and we would want all of the existing roof-mounted equipment screened as part of this approval.
Okay.
And then beyond those items, I did want to draw attention to the proposed facade materials. The shiplap cladding with that wood profile and appearance, kind of the faux wood look, does require approval from the Planning Commission. We would otherwise require brick or stone along those street frontages, as well as the painting of the brick or stone with that gray paint will require Planning Commission approval. Now, I know those choices aren't too out of line with the surrounding developments and then some of the newer developments we've had in the township. I would recommend you give a little bit more information for that shiplap cladding, maybe about the durability, how long it can be used, the useful lifespan, make the Planning Commission maybe a little more comfortable with approving that material if they decide to.
Absolutely. So the material we're proposing, I don't want to say it's like your Trex decking, but it's very similar in material as that, where it has a 30-year plus lifespan. It doesn't fade, doesn't discolor. It's thinner, installed differently, but it's along the same lines as that product. From any point in which you look at it, it's going to look like wood. We've used it in some other applications in Southfield, Rochester, I'm trying to think where else, in Clinton Township. So it's an attractive, durable material. It doesn't have the maintenance that wood would. It doesn't deteriorate or have any issues with water damage. It's a very nice material. And then the paint that would be used would be an exterior grade Sherwin-Williams. I don't remember the exact color we picked. It's like rustic bronze or something. But it kind of goes with the tones. And I don't know if everybody saw the renderings that were part of the package. I believe it's kind of an attractive look.
I did have one last item, Chairman.
Yes.
The existing site doesn't have a trash receptacle. It just has
Yes.
free-flowing dumpsters.
Yes.
Want to make sure if there is any trash receptacle on the site that it is appropriately screened up to the standards in zoning ordinance section 5.8.
Yep.
And that'd be any dumpster, any trash enclosure.
I skipped that part in my speech.
Not a problem.
Yes, so we would provide a trash enclosure on the west side of the site. Currently, there's a couple roll-off bins and a dumpster and a bunch of other things, so that would all be cleaned up as part of this. And we'll add that to the final site plan document that we resubmit.
That's all I have, Chairman.
To the board, any questions for the petitioner? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Turner.
I move to approve site plan number 2601, Tony DeMambro, John R. 1000 LLC, 51061 Mound Road, located north of 23 Mile Road on the west side of Mound Road, Brookside Center facade modification. Approval is subject to the submission of revised site plans addressing all department and site plan review comments, and approval of the painting of the current stone on the building.
Support.
Moved by Turner, support by Apone. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, Commissioner Turner?
Yes.
Commissioner Apone?
Yes.
Commissioner Larray?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Yes.
Commissioner Casale?
Yes.
Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Long?
Yes.
Commissioner Deschamps?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Good luck.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Have a good evening.
Next item, site plan number 25-34, Derek Reba. Did you sign? Before you get started, what's going on at 22 and Van Dyke?
Couldn't quite hear that. Could you say that one more
I
time?
said, before you get started, what's going on at 22 and Van Dyke?
Absolutely. A lot of great updates for that one. So we recently held our pre-construction meeting on the 5th of February. So we sat down with staff and got ready for our site plan to commence construction. Got a couple of checks and bonds being finalized here, and engineering permits should be issued any day. So we're very excited to get under construction, and demolition should commence in the coming weeks of those two existing homes.
Great.
Yeah, very excited.
Before you get started, I'm going to call on Mr. Kirk for a disclosure.
Yes, to the commission, as you know, our firm, we disclosed before, represented Sheets in other communities. Nothing on 22 in Van Dyke. I didn't even know this one until I saw it on the agenda. I sent an email out last week. If you had any questions, we have outside backup counsel to ask. So any legal questions, I'm out on those. So up for your consideration.
Okay, thank you.
Wonderful. I guess I didn't introduce myself correctly. I'm David Bruckelmeyer with Sheets, 39300 West 12 Mile Road, Farmington Hills, Michigan. Very excited to present this site to you here tonight. It's at the southeast corner of 23 Mile and Corporate Drive. And I'm going to go through just a quick presentation. I know I've been in front of all of you before, but just a couple of refresh items here. So again, Sheets was started in 1952, Central Pennsylvania, and was and still is a family-owned, family-operated company. We have 16 or 17, I think we might be up to 17 members of the Sheets family that report in every day, and they are making active decisions in the business. So that's something pretty unique for a company that has over 800 locations. And there's the family. Few things that make our sites unique. We feature fuel, but we really primarily focus on the restaurant. We have 30 indoor seats in each one of our locations with a full menu. It has 1.8 million combinations, something of that nature, and probably growing, along with 16 seats outdoor at every location. So we really focus on customers coming in and enjoying an experience, and not just coming in to get gas. They're really coming in to get food and hopefully getting gas on the side. I did want to share a couple of just views of what this site is going to look like. This is looking southeast from the corner of Corporate Drive and 23 Mile. As you can see, we've got nice landscaping, premium architecture, full section brick and stone on the building, as with the other site. A couple of things about what we provide to our employees, which is really important here. We provide medical, vision, dental, 401k, tuition reimbursement, paid time off, an incredible array of benefits for all of our employees. So just something I wanted to remind you about. We're not just bringing in a couple of jobs here. This is 30 to 35 full-time positions at each location. So what we're requesting tonight is site plan approval for a 6139 square foot restaurant convenience store along with the associated fuel station. Again, southeast corner of 23 Mile Corporate Drive.
Can you back that one up a little bit? Just one.
Sorry.
Northeast corner of Ford and Hubbard. You may want to switch that slide.
Wrong county, sorry. Again, southeast corner of Corporate and 23 Mile, 10 pumps, and 2.39 total developed acres. As you can see, our site plans here, we've got our fuel islands, the 10 MPDs, which would be 20 fueling positions up towards 23 Mile Road, with the convenience store located just to the south of that. Happy to back this up if you want to look at this. And just to reiterate again, we've got the full section brick and stone on the elevation, so you can see this nice architecturally sufficient building. We've got articulation and really nice look to our architecture. Just a couple more views here, and this is looking southwest, just to give you an idea from a bird's eye view what the site is proposed to look like. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions. I would like to note we appreciate working with your staff. They're very professional. We've gone through a couple of quick rounds of comments, and they are very, very pleasant to work with. So we appreciate all their help.
Good, thank you. Who had this one?
I did.
Oh, well,
Thank you, Chairman.
blessed to hear from the planner herself.
This site, the proposed development is a use by right in the heavy manufacturing zoning district. With that being said, it has undergone a preliminary review. Most of those comments that are listed in the site plan review have been addressed. The only other items that I just wanted to bring to Mr. Breckelmeyer's attention is no outdoor merchandising is permitted. Only ice chests and propane tanks, and I've noticed that the renderings contained some outdoor merchandise, so if we can remove those from the plan. The other item that I wanted to bring to your attention is the posts for the canopy. The ordinance calls for complete brick or other sustainable materials. The applicant is proposing 6 feet of brick facade of those posts, so up to the Planning Commission if they would like the entire column with brick material as proposed for the lower portion. The other item that I just wanted to clarify is for the loading and the unloading area of the fuel tankers. Right now, the applicant is proposing the unloading area for the fuel tankers along 23 Mile. However, they also have an unloading and loading zone on the south side of the building for the convenience items. Typically in the past, as long as there's maneuverability on the site, that would be acceptable to have that loading and unloading zone there because for safety purposes, typically that's where the fuel tankers are located, is by the fueling pumps. Other than that, just wanted to make a note that I commend the applicant in working with us. Originally, the preliminary site plan called for a point of ingress and egress off of 23 Mile. There was a number of departments that were concerned with that, and thus, with the second submission, they removed that point of entrance, and now they will be accessing the site from Corporate Drive, which would make it more safer for everybody because it is controlled there at that intersection.
Okay, thank you. To the board, any questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Turner.
you heard the planner ask about the the posts for the canopy being brick all the way up. Are you opposed to having those go brick all the way to the top?
I have no issue with providing brick all the way to the top, and that would be consistent with what we provided at the other site at 22 Miles. So I'm happy to provide that.
Thank you.
Chairman, Mr. Reba, how are you today?
Doing well, Harry.
Good, good.
It's Mr. Breckelmeyer. Sorry, I'm up here for sheets.
Sorry, I just call you
Derek,
David, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's great.
When I took oath of this being a commissioner, my oath was to best interest of the people of the township and the businesses that already exist in the township. Obviously, we welcome new businesses, but for the record, I'm speaking for myself, not to the rest of the commissioners of the board. When this came across my desk, I took the time and went around businesses in a 2-mile radius, 23 in Shaner to 23 in Van Dyke, which currently consists of 5 stations currently in that 2-mile radius. So I spoke with businesses, I spoke with current gas station owners, as well as restaurants, as well as residents around that area. After speaking with them, I went home, sat down, and came up with 7 questions that I came up with to ask you to see, is it possible for me to say this is a great idea in this corridor, one of the busiest corridors in Shelby Township? given that there are already multiple gas stations operating within a 2-mile stretch, there's 5. If Sheetz came along, it'd be 6. What specific unmet need does this proposal address that is not already being served by existing businesses in Shelby Township?
Sure. So a couple of things. There is a lot of competition in our space, as well as a lot of competition abroad. You know, in the United States today, we have a lot of different businesses. You have Foot Locker versus DSW, and you have quite a few competitors in every segment of business, and it's the same with ours. Something that does set us apart, though, we operate our own 24/7, 365 kitchen, along with the associated fuel station. So again, we focus on the restaurant portion of our business, but that's something that really does set us apart from a lot of our competition, is having a 24/7 restaurant that has a full offering.
An existing gas station and convenience business in this corridor have operated successfully in Shelby Township for decades, which I'm talking about the Murphy, the one who would be across the street from the Sheetz if they came. What analysis have you conducted to ensure this proposal does not destabilize or displace that established business?
You know, again, something to point out, when you go around the country, and in Michigan as well as the rest of the country, there's a lot of competition. So a lot of times there are 3 or 4 fuel stations on each corner, and each one is operating and continues to operate. You know, sometimes here in Michigan, we've got corners that already have 3 on them that we're considering. And those 3 are already in competition with each other. And with the amount of traffic and the volume here in Southeast Michigan, there's a lot of customer base. And that's something that we're looking to take part in and be competitive in the market. But there is a lot of existing, base of customers that come in that need serviced.
Can you demonstrate that this project will generate new economic activity rather than simply divert customers from existing locally owned or long-standing stations who've been around Shelby Township for decades?
Absolutely. Again, something that sets us apart is having 30 to 35 employees. That's not something that's typical of a normal fuel station. And that really highlights the fact that we have more to offer than just a standard offering. We have, parking, room for 30 to 35 employees, which is like roughly 9 for our largest shift. So that's something uncommon in our competitors.
With numerous similar fuel uses already present within that 2-mile radius, why do you believe another station represents the highest and best long-term use for this parcel in Shelby Township?
Well, I think a couple of things. We did take a look at the master plan and the zoning map, and our use does make a lot of sense here. So that was something that we did take into account when looking at this site.
Do you believe it's appropriate to add another identical use when existing businesses already meet current demand?
Well, I think really I'd like to go back and just highlight that we have the correct zoning here, and we also have a business that has, a 24-hour restaurant that's pretty uncommon in the area.
Sheetz is doing wonderful. It's going to be great on 22 Mile. New vibe, everything's going to be great. Obviously, there's a lot of stations in Shelby that need revitalization, right? Need a new facelift. If Sheetz would have came, I'm just speaking about me, and said, hey, we're buying this existing station, we're going to demolish it, rebuild it, it's going to be phenomenal, I'm all for it. But to come when there's already 5 in a 2-mile radius, to find a building, demolish it, and rebuild it in one of the busiest corridor, I don't see it. I'm sorry. I wish you the best of luck, but I do not see it. Chairman?
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Commissioner Long?
Where your entrance is coming off of the Shelby Parkway there, is there going to be adequate distance for people who are stopped at the light there that people can get in? We're not going to have, people backing up to 23 Mile?
Yes. So again, there is a light there, and we did do a traffic study, and it does support all the access that is shown on this plan.
Mr. Chairman? When you came into the 22 in Van Dyke, I did not support that location, not because I didn't support what you're proposing. I just didn't think that was the right location for what you were proposing. However, where you're now on 23 Mile Road, excuse me, I believe this is an ideal location given that it's heavy manufacturing. You got 23 Mile Road, you've got that traffic light as you just indicated, which will help control the traffic in the area. So in this instance, I think Sheetz made a good choice, and I will support the proposal. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. Any other comments or questions?
Is there any provisions for charging electric vehicles?
So the EV space is really kind of interesting, and it's a moving target at the moment. There's a lot of things going on in the market. There's a lot of things going on with rebates and tax incentives and all kinds of things like that that are out of our control at the moment. What I would like to say is that we pre-plan a lot of spaces, which would be roughly 8 spaces, I think, Nancy, on this site, that are pre-planned for EV. And what that means is we are ready to come in. We have all the correct ADA grading and the spacing so that we can drop in the appropriate number of ADA spaces versus normal parks for EV and bring in a canopy and an EV offering when we can find a partner that can bring that in. So we do shop around Tesla, Iona, EV America, I think we're still partnered with. So we're one of the largest EV charging third parties in the United States. We have over 100 Tesla locations that are operating, and we're looking to add some more. So as we can get that offering, we do have it pre-planned, and we bring it in when we can.
Thank you. Any other comments? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Rapone.
move to approve site plan number 25-34, Derek Reba, MC Development, 12,023 Mile Road, located on the south side of 23 Mile Road, east of M53 Expressway, Sheetz Gas Station and Convenience Store. Approval is subject to the submission of the revised site plans and address all department, planning and commission, and site plan review comments.
Support.
I'm sorry, who supported?
Me.
Oh, support, Commissioner Larray. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none. Commissioner Rapone?
Yes.
Commissioner Larray?
Yes.
Commissioner Turner?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Yes.
Commissioner Casale?
Yes.
Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Long?
Yes.
Commissioner Deschamps?
No.
Chair votes yes. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Next item is site plan special land use number 25-31, Angelo Lani, and this is a public hearing. I'll ask the secretary to read the notice, please.
Charter Township of Shelby, notice of public hearing. Notice is hereby given that the Planning Commission for the Charter Township of Shelby, Macomb County, Michigan, has received a request for approval of a site plan special land use. Applicant Angelo Lani, Corridor Park, LLC, 51515, Corridor Drive, Shelby Township, Michigan, 48315. Proposed use, Florence Cement. Expansion of outdoor storage. Location, 51515 Corridor Drive, located north of 23 Mile Road, east of M53 Expressway. Site plan SLU 25-31. Sidwell number 23-07-14-376-024. Legal description is as follows, as published. The Planning Commission will meet on Monday, February 9th, 2026, at 7 p.m. in the Shelby Township Municipal Building Boardroom, 52700 Van Dyke Avenue, Shelby Township, Michigan, 48316, 586-726-7243, for the purpose of holding a public hearing on the site plan special land use request. The application for the site plan special land use may be examined at the Planning and Zoning Department in the municipal building Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Written comments may be submitted to the Planning Commission at the above address prior to the hearing. Oral comments will be heard during the public hearing. This notice is provided pursuant to the requirements of Michigan Public Act 110 of 2006 as amended. Shelby Township Planning Commission, Jerome Moffitt, Chair, Raquel Moore, Secretary. This was published on January 21st, 2026 in the Macomb Daily. There were 44 property owners and 3 applicants were notified by first-class mail on January 20th, 2026.
Great, thank you. Mr. Kirk, did the publication meet all legal requirements?
Yes, it did.
And could you explain the uses under the present zoning and if the special land use request is appropriate?
Yes, the current zoning is a light manufacturing zone. This type of use requires a special land use under that zone because of the extent of the outside storage.
Great, thank you. To the secretary, did we receive any correspondence?
No, we did not, Mr.
Great,
Chair.
thank you. Format for the public hearing will be as follows. The petitioner or representative will come up, state what they're requesting, their reasons for it. Then we'll turn it to the board, who may ask questions of the petitioner. I'll then open it up to the floor for the public to offer any comments or ask any questions to the board And then we'll bring the petitioner back up to answer or address any comments or questions that are raised. With that, is the petitioner here, a representative?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the Planning Commission. My name is Tom Callis. My address is 31350 Telegraph Road, Suite 201, and that's Bingham Farms, Michigan. I'm here on behalf of the applicant and the owner, Corridor Park LLC, and Mr. Lonnie is also here. He's the owner of Florence Cement and also the property owner, in case you have any questions. We are here this evening seeking really to extend the existing Florence Cement use to the property that abuts us to the north. Now, that property is actually part of our property. It was divided from the Corridor Cove property, which is off Jimmy's Drive and has access to 24 Mile. It was split off and divided with the Corridor Park parcel, so we are all one legal parcel at this point. We have an existing use on the property, which is the Florence Cement business. We have outdoor storage that's accessory to that existing use and which is allowed under the light manufacturing zoning. And we're here seeking approval of a site plan relative to the property that was added to the Florence Cement parcel to allow for equipment, storage, truck storage, and items that are shown on the site plan. I don't know, Julie, can you pull up that site plan by any chance, or?
No, we don't have the.
You don't have it? Okay.
I don't have the ability to pull it up, but all the Planning Commission members do have a copy of it.
Okay, so I'll reference, you have it in your packet. I'll reference that site plan. We are actually improving the property. We're including on-site detention, which will alleviate a lot of the issues that we had in that area with storm, rain, and flooding. That's going to be on site. It's shown on the site plan. Calculations are provided. And again, just so you're aware, we've gone through this plan a few times now with your planning department. We've addressed comments every single review. I think we're down to maybe a handful of comments that still have to be addressed, which we reviewed, and we have no problem addressing those during the site plan review process with the planning department and your engineering department. We're going to add along the eastern property line. There's a residential development to the east, but the closest home is 375 feet away from our property. So that's, for those who watched the Super Bowl last night, that's more than a football field as far as distance. But we're providing a 6-foot-high panel wall, decorative panel wall along that eastern property line. So that's going to provide a nice screening, a nice buffering. And we also have a ITC corridor there, which you're probably aware of with overhead wires, and that provides additional buffering relative to our business and the residential to the east. To the north, to the west, and to the south is all light manufacturing or heavy industrial uses, so we obviously fit within the area. You can see on the site plan the areas that are designated for storage, what type of material or what type of equipment and vehicles will be stored in those areas. And again, this is an extension of the Florence Cement use. It'll help clean up and move some of the Florence Cement stuff further north onto the property that is now part of Florence Cement. And, this is obviously a use that's permitted under light industrial, but of course with special land use because of the outdoor storage. But the outdoor storage is accessory to the main business, which is a permitted use, and we feel we met all the requirements under the ordinance. Any remaining items that are cited in the planner's review, which I believe are, again, a handful of comments, we can easily address. So we're here to answer any questions, and we would respectfully request a favorable recommendation so we can move on to the Township Board. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. To the board, are there any questions or comments?
Chairman,
Commissioner Disho.
how can we mitigate the noise, the vibrations, and the dust? Because I know code enforcement has had a history of complaints regarding that. So I know that it can't go away 100%, but can we mitigate somehow? Because obviously the neighbors.
Yeah, so there's not going to be much noise because it's just going to be storage of vehicles and equipment back there. The dust is mitigated with chemical solutions, water trucks, same way we mitigate dust for floor and cement, the existing business. And again, there's quite a distance between the property and the residential to the east. And you've got the ITC corridor there also. So steps are shown, it's on your site plan in the notes, if you can see, as to what steps there's going to be aggregate laid down. So, every effort will be taken to reduce any type of noise or dust from that back end of the property.
And the owner agrees to put the 50-foot buffer?
The 50-foot.
Yeah, required along the east property line.
Well, we have a concrete, we have a decorative panel wall, and we have buffering in that area too. So whatever is required under the ordinance, we'll obviously meet.
Chairman.
No problem.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Turner.
following up on Mr. DeShaw a second, given one, you talk about the dust, I think a great way we can mitigate any issues going forward, Mr. Callis, would be that you pave this whole new area that you're proposing for the outdoor storage. That way there won't be any problem. I think maybe you can find somebody and give you a good price on that too. So I'm asking you, maybe, is that something you'd consider, given the fact that even though you're putting this 6-foot-high wall, that's not going to stop air carrying dust, if there is any dust problems or issues from this area, to the residents to the east? Because it's directly right across, equal, right from the residents to the east. So is that something you'd consider, paving up to, I guess it stops at the wetlands, the whole area that you're proposing for storage?
Obviously, we can look at the cost of that. It may be cost prohibitive. But again, dust is going to be reduced by the measures that are currently in place for floor and cement. There's not going to be much big truck traffic coming in and out of that area. It's going to be, for storage of equipment type things. So you're not bringing, some of these sites with industrial, they bring materials all day long in and out, crushed concrete, things like that. This is not what's going to be taking place in that northern
There's going to be
property.
no crushed concrete, anything like that stored in this area?
If it is, it'll only be temporarily coming, if we have to take it from a site, leave it on our site temporarily to move it to a concrete crusher that's off-site. But you're not going to see, piles of crushed concrete stored on the property, on that property. If there is, again, it'll be temporarily, only until we can move it to a crusher off-site.
Okay, well, my suggestion and my recommendation, I'm just one person, one vote, would be that we pave the area. I think that'd be much better for your long-term and also better for the residents to the east. But that's my opinion. Thanks.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Aggregate, in this type of business, we've experienced the aggregate with the dust remediation typically works better than putting concrete, which will end up just cracking and needs to be replaced. So, that's a consideration that, we have, obviously.
Good, thank you. Any other comments or questions?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Gazali.
Yeah, if we stick to that same comments from Mr. Turner, as I'm looking at taking a closer look, I see construction equipment, mixed trucks, service vehicles, utility trailers. So I don't see anywhere where you're going to be storing concrete. So I guess if I looked at that and you're just have vehicle storage there, I would be okay with it. But you mentioned something about
It won't be it's not going to be a use. If Angelo has to bring it so he can transport it to a crusher, that's the only way, right,
okay.
Angelo?
I'm good with
Other
it.
than that, you'll see what's on the site plan, and obviously we're, bound by what's on the site plan. So, and you'll notice that the trucks are towards the, southern part of the property, closer to the floor and cement, and the items in the back are just like metal forms, which obviously don't create any dust or noise themselves. So.
Okay, thank you.
Good, thank you. Any other comments or questions?
Chairman, are you going to can you clarify the term concrete batch plant? Because I don't think it's allowed in light manufacturing zoning.
Yeah, it's
so
not.
I think it needs to be rephrased where we or I can understand what that is.
It's just storage of the batch plant. It's not going to be operating on the site. They own batch plants and crushers that they operate off-site for road projects or highway projects, whatever they may be working on. In the wintertime, they store those, but they'll be disassembled to meet the height requirement of the ordinance, and they're not operating from that location, so.
Thank you, Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Pone?
would those batch plants, when they're in storage, would they be upright or would they be low?
I don't know how they disassemble
Is
them.
that,
All right, if you need to, you're going to have to come up. If you're going to have to speak, I need your name and address.
But we need your name.
Need it?
Name and address.
Introduce yourself and speak into the mic, please.
Angelo Lonnie, 51515 corridor. And if you drive down 23 Mile Road, from 23 Mile Road, if you look in the back, if you look to the north, you'll see there's 4 of them there right now because 2 of them are in the city of Warren. We left them on site during the winter. So 3 of them came back to be worked on. And the way you'll see there, it's just the conveyor belts that stick up. That's how they are. But in our case, like Tom said, we'll be just storing these batch plants. We're not going to be batching concrete, and you're not going to have rocks there that we had in the past. We removed all the rocks from site.
Good. Anyone else? Okay. Thank you. We'll
Thank you.
bring you back. This is the only public hearing the Planning Commission will hold on this special land use request. All remarks will be entered into the record for Township Board evaluation. We are recommending body, and ultimately the Township Board will take that into consideration when making the final decision. At this time, if anyone in the audience wishes to comment or ask any questions, now would be the time. I think there look to be 2 unaffiliated folks, and they're not coming up. So I will bring it back to the board and ask the planner for his or her comment.
Thank you,
First.
Chairman. So as Mr. Callis indicated, we've gone through a preliminary site plan review on this project. Still, there are some outstanding comments. Matter of fact, there are 7 there that are listed in your report. There is proposed shipping containers for the site. Those are not permitted in the township, so those will need to be removed from the plant. The concrete batch plant was identified, so if it's just the equipment itself broken down, should not be a problem from what I understood. No loose materials, sand, crushed concrete, stone to be stored on the site as well. There was a situation where there was a temporary batch plant on this site to help Mr. Lonnie get rid of some of the concrete that was stored. And so I would recommend that we do not allow any storage of these types of items on the site, even temporarily, because it brought in a lot of ordinance complaints, a lot of complaints from the residents to the east there. The 4th item is the major 2 screening is a requirement. I understand that they're erecting a concrete wall along that property line. However, it still doesn't meet the major 2 screening requirements, so it's just a formality at this point, being that we had granted variances for other properties for that screening in the past. The other item is the construction of the concrete wall panels and the storage in the easement requires approval from the easement holder, which is DTE. So, and also, if there's any wetlands there, we'll need approval from Eagle for any work to take place in any wetlands. The last item is they are proposing a chain link fence on the west portion of the property. The chain link fence requires some sort of slatting for the fence to screen the items beyond the fence. So that's also it's also in our zoning ordinance, including our master plan recommendations.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Does the petitioner wish to address anything that the planner had raised?
Again, Tom Callis, appearing on behalf of the applicant. So we do have approval from ITC for that easement. The fence, chain link fence on the west side of the property, we did not include slats because, as we indicated in our response, we abut a wetland area and a pond, and there is industrial next to us. There's no visible, it's not visible from the roadway at all. So we don't, because it's, we're next to a pond in a wetland area, we didn't feel slats are required. There's no one there to see, what's there. But of course, we'll work with planning and your engineers on those issues. As far as the screening and the buffering, we had requested a waiver of Major 2 screening to allow Major 1. Again, as we indicated, we're on the east side, we're providing a 6-foot-high decorative panel screening wall. The ITC corridor is 325 feet wide, and the nearest house is 375 feet away. So we didn't feel that a level 2 screening, which is very heavy, very expensive, was necessary based upon what we're providing and what's already there. So wetlands, we're not touching. We're not encroaching in the wetlands at all. We've already mitigated wetlands on the site, which is now part of the Corridor Park property, or Corridor Cove, I'm sorry, to the north. And I believe that was it. So,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So move.
Is there support?
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Our basis for our recommendation this evening must be based on the following. Compatibility with adjacent land uses, consistent with and promote the intent and purpose of the special land use, compatibility with the natural environment, consistent with the capacities of public services and facilities affected by the proposed use, protect the public health, safety, and welfare, and the adequacy of public access to this site. We may recommend approval this evening. We could disapprove the request or table it to evaluate the information we received further. At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Turner.
I'm hearing there's a lot, in my opinion, there's a lot, and I think still needs to be thrashed out on this. So I'm going to move to postpone site plan special land use 2531, Angelo Lanny, Florence Cement, 51515 Corridor Drive, located north of 23 Mile Road, east of the M53 Expressway, Florence Cement, expansion of outdoor storage and related site improvements. Item is tabled to give the applicant an opportunity to address the Planning Commission departmental reviews and engineering comments, including the screening on the western side, the slats on the fence on the eastern side, and the possibility of paving the new outdoor storage area on the site.
Is there support?
Support.
Moved by Turner, support by Moore. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none. Commissioner Turner?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Yes.
Commissioner LeRae?
Yes.
Commissioner Opone?
Yes.
Commissioner Casale?
Yes.
Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Long?
Yes.
Commissioner Deschamps?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Thank you. Next item is also a public hearing. This is for a rezoning petition number 24-42, George Linney. The petitioner or a representative is here. Oh, no. First, I'll ask the secretary to read the notices published.
Charter Township of Shelby, notice of public hearing. Notice is hereby given that the Planning Commission for the Charter Township of Shelby, Macomb County, Michigan, has received a request for the following rezoning. Applicant George Linney, Property Rental LLC, George Linney, 6357 31 Mile Road, Washington, Michigan, 48095. Proposed zoning, rezoning from R1B, Single Family Residential, to R2, Two Family Residential. Location 12533 and 12595, 22 Mile Road, located on the north side of 22 Mile Road, west of Shaner Road. Street rezoning 24-42, Sidwell number 23-07-23-300-009 and 23-07-23-300-011. Legal description is as follows, as published. The Planning Commission will meet on Monday, February 9th, 2026 at 7 p.m. in the Shelby Township Municipal Building, Boardroom, 52700 Van Dyke Avenue, Shelby Township, Michigan, 48316. 586-726-7243, for the purpose of holding a public hearing on the rezoning application. The application for the rezoning may be examined at the Planning and Zoning Department in the municipal building Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Written comments may be submitted to the Planning Commission at the above address prior to the hearing. Oral comments will be heard during the public hearing. This notice is provided pursuant to the requirements of Michigan Public Act 110 of 2006 as amended. Shelby Township Planning Commission, Jerome Moffett, Chair, Raquel Moore, Secretary. This was published on January 21st, 2026 in the Macomb Daily. There were 93 property owners, 2 applicants, and 9 utilities were notified by first-class mail on January 20th, 2026.
Great, thank you. Mr. Kirk, did the publication meet all legal requirements?
Yes, it did.
Great, thank you. To the Secretary, did we receive any correspondence on this?
We did, Mr. Chair. In
Thank
fact,
you.
we received it this evening from Ms. DeChambeau. She lives on Ben Franklin, and she is opposed to this rezoning due to the increase in traffic because it's already congested.
Okay, thank you. The format for the public hearing will be the same as we just experienced. The petitioner or representative come up, state what they're requesting, their reasons for it. I'll then bring it back to the board, the commission, to ask any questions they may have. I'll then open up to the public to offer any their comments or ask a question. I'll gather the questions and then bring the petitioner back up to have them address it. At this time, the petitioner is here. So you can only charge mileage to your client once.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the Planning Commission. Again, Tom Callis, 31350 Telegraph Road, Suite 201, and that's Bingham Farms, Michigan. And we are here this evening seeking rezoning of approximately 5.795 acres from R1B, which are minimum lots, single-family residential, 14,400 square feet with minimum lot width of 90 feet, to an R2 zoning, which allows for duplexes and single-family. We are here seeking a rezoning. We were here in the past seeking a rezoning to R5. This rezoning here is actually reducing the density, really limiting our use to 2-family dwellings or single-family as allowed under the, as permitted uses under the ordinance. And what we're proposing, again, we have to go through site plan and engineering review, but we're hoping to get about 22 units, condo units from this development, with 10 duplex units and then 2 single-family dwelling units. Now, this is a very difficult site to develop because it's got the 50-foot wide Catholic drain that basically cuts across the property from east to west to east. We have on the north and west side an existing manufactured housing development. And we have on the east side, again, I don't know what it is this evening, but there's an ITC corridor with overhead wires on the east side, and obviously we have frontage on 22 Mile and Major Road. So what we're actually proposing will bring in less density and more of a marketable use than what it's master planned for. It is master planned for manufactured housing still. My client does not want to do that. He wants to put up nice duplex units. These are in demand, as you all know, and not only in Shelby, but in other communities as well. These units will be nice. They'll be approximately 1,350 to 1,500 square feet. Family room, kitchen, den, study, 2 bedrooms, 2-car garage, front-facing 2-car garage. And it'll be a product that's very marketable. Duplexes are in demand. Empty nesters, newly married couples, people with 1 or 2 kids, smaller families, snowbirds, retirees, and so forth. So we were here last time, and it went to Planning Commission for our R5, which was recommended denial. We went up to the Township Board. They tabled it to send it back down to the Planning Commission. We looked at the property, we looked at the market conditions, and what we did is we totally scrapped that rezoning and submitted a new rezoning, which is in front of you this evening. We feel this development will be a very nice development. It's a vacant piece of property. 90-foot lots, R1B zoning is just not appropriate for this parcel. The township has a lot of R1B developments in areas that are secluded, that are off major roads, that do not back up to ITC corridors. It would be extremely difficult, if not impossible, to develop this site, and cost prohibitive, quite frankly, for 90-foot lots and try to market it with all the surrounding uses when there's so many other nicer, not nicer, but so many other R1B areas in the township where people can have more privacy and things of that nature when you're buying a larger lot and a larger home. So again, we think this is the right product for this property, and that's why we went back and we redid it, we resubmitted, and, we would kindly request recommendation for approval of the rezoning from the R1B to the R2. Any questions? More than happy to ask them. The petitioner, applicant, property owner is here, but also Mr. George Leany, in case there's any questions, along with our engineer. Thank you.
So we're not really considering any kind of site plan.
No.
So really it's just about the use, and that's what we're approving. If you were to do single-family homes, how many units do you think have you considered how many you get in and what the lot sizes would be?
Well, the lot size would have to be 90 feet.
For an R2?
For R1B.
No. We're going to rezone it to R2.
Well, so R2.
I believe you started your comment saying it could be a single family or duplex. I think you seem to be, inclined to go one way. But if you were to go build single family homes in an R2, what would that look like? Maybe I can ask the planner. Or,
It would be much less because you've got to have, if you're doing just single family as opposed to duplexes, and you've got to meet all the setbacks.
We need to consider, okay, if we do the R2, what the potential uses could be, because we're not, this isn't a conditional zoning that we're going to rezone this and this is the product. We're just doing a zoning.
R2 will yield at the max 22 units. And that's 10 duplexes and 2 single family. They're considered single family, but they're actually condo units that are split. So it's all condominiums, under the Condominium Act. And I do have a colored conceptual plan.
No, that's okay.
But.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
To the board, any questions?
Chairman, not all 5.8 acres is buildable, correct?
Definitely. There's a drain. You can see the drain. We have to do detention on site. That takes up a lot of land. And, obviously we have to put the road in, and so, yeah, there's a lot less land that's buildable because of that, but
Do you know how many acres is buildable out of that 5.8?
How many is buildable? Yeah, I think it was about 3.5 when we looked at. 4, it was about 4 something.
So out of 4, you don't know about how many homes can go on that 4 acres?
Well, we can't.
I mean, depending on, I guess, what you're doing,
Under
your condo.
Under R1B?
Under what you're proposing?
No, well, what we're proposing is duplex condominiums, so.
Do you know how many can go under those 4
Yeah.
acres?
20, maximum 22. 22 units, so 22, 10 duplex buildings, and then we're going to split 1 condo, so 22 total. That would be the maximum. Now, when we go through site plan and engineering, it might end up being less, because it's not going to be more. We wish it was, but it may end up being less. So.
Chairman.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Commissioner
Chairman.
Casale.
Thank you. I have a question for the planner. We're zoned R1B here, but our master plan has it slated for mobile home park area. Now, is that an allowable use under R1B? Mobile home?
No,
No.
that is not.
Okay. So it seems conflicting to me then. If somebody came in to build a mobile home park, they would have to rezone also?
Correct.
Okay.
Because the current zoning of the property is single-family residential.
Right. It's not consistent with the master plan. That's why I was just questioning.
Fair.
Thank
Fair.
you.
And just to answer another question, with the R1B zoning, it's 3 units per acre.
Thank you.
Okay, any other comments?
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Turner.
Mr. Callis, last time when you came in, you proposed an R5, and I remember asking you, well, if you can't build at R5, why not go something less, R4 or something? I even brought up the possibility of a PUD under that concept. At that time, I also said I certainly agree R1B will not work in this location given the size of the property and the challenges you have with the development. So I was in favor of something less than R5, better than R1B that would work. I think what you're proposing here, in my opinion again, is a good transition from a higher density mobile home park to the R2 to the DTE corridor, and then you got the single family condos on the east of the DTE. I think this is a good transitional use for that property, much better than R5. You're probably going to get less than 22 units when you go through engineering, but I think what you're proposing, in my opinion, is something that could work in the area.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Seeing none?
Thank you.
Thank you. This is the only public hearing the Planning Commission will hold on this rezoning request. Your remarks will be entered into the record for Township Board evaluation. We are a recommending body, and ultimately the Township Board will take our recommendation into consideration when making the final decision. At this time, anyone in the public is welcome to come and offer their comments or ask questions.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Phil DeChambeau, 54055 Mound Road, Shelby Township. I'm here to speak on behalf of my mother, Gloria DeChambeau, who lives at 48940 Ben Franklin, as well as her neighbor, Denise Smith, 12596 22 Mile Road. We're here not to condemn development of that property. We completely understand the purpose of that. We're here to ask for the board to consider potential impacts to the current residences as well as the current traffic situations in the area. Our family moved to this home, my mother still lives in right now, which is at the corner of Ben Franklin Road and 22 Mile Road, which is on the east side of Ben Franklin Road. We moved there in 1984, so we're very familiar with this area. I'm at that house every day. It's still our family home. This area has become very congested in the past. With the new developments that have gone in, there is the Somerset Lake subdivision that has 51 homes, 51 individual residences with one entrance. Kingswood, 115 homes with one entrance and exit. Franklin Meadows, if you consider the north half, which would use this entrance and exit, there are, what was this one here, 121 homes. And then the manufactured home community across the street has 644 individual residences, bringing this number to approximately 1,000 people within a third of, or 3/10 of a mile, just in this area, 3/10 of a mile, over almost 1,000 people that use those entrances. This also doesn't take into consideration the Lombardo Park that has a huge drawing, especially in the warmer months throughout the spring, summer, and fall, where there will be parking along the grass, along the shoulder of 22 Mile Road. Using this area to pull in and out of these subdivisions becomes very difficult. The north wall of our family house, my mother's house, is 46 feet off of the white stripe of the road. This currently does not have a bypass lane for allowing traffic to potentially turn left into this new proposed development. If there were to be a bypass lane, I can only imagine how close those vehicles would be to that house. Also to the neighbor to the east, whose house is on 22 Mile Road, they are 56 feet away. The sidewalk that's in place on 22 Mile Road is 22 feet away from that roadway. There's a new pedestrian crosswalk just to the west down towards Lombardo Park that has heavy traffic. So we're already dealing with a lot of congestion. Most times of the day, turning to the left is impossible. So people in Franklin Meadows have the option of going all the way down to 21 Mile Road to go to Van Dyke instead of turning left out of Franklin Meadows. And it does get backed up. In fact, it gets backed up to the point where there's traffic down to Shaner, if not traffic down towards the overpass and up the embankment for the overpass. So we would just ask for your consideration for these situations, please.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anyone else? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the board and ask the planner for comments.
Thank you, Chairman. So this parcel would be considered an infill parcel since it's located within a developed area. Now, the challenge that's presented here is to respond to new residential products and projects in a manner that takes into consideration the existing family neighborhoods, preserves privacy, and minimizes any nuisances and maintains property values. So although, this goes back to Mrs. Casali's question, although the rezoning is not consistent with the 2017 master plan's character plan, the density of a mobile park development would far exceed the density of an R2 zoning district. So based on the surrounding characteristics and the natural features of the property, the R2 zoning designation would offer a housing product that provides a reasonable transition of uses and accommodates the residents of all stages in their life. So this would be far less dense than it would be if it was rezoned to mobile home park. I think I did a quick analysis, and if it was zoned mobile home park, I think you would be looking in excess of 40 units.
Thank you. Is it, to the petitioner, any final comments? A motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Our recommendation this evening must be based on the following: practicality of the rezoning request and the effect on the surrounding area, the owner's right to use his land, do current growth and development patterns warrant the rezoning, and is the proposed rezoning in accordance with the master plan. We may recommend approval to the board, we could disapprove the request, or we could table it to evaluate further. At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Turner.
I'll move to recommend approval to the Township Board for rezoning number 24-42 George Leany Property Rental LLC, 12533 and 12595 22 Mile Road, located on the north side of 22 Mile Road, west of Shaner Road. Proposed rezoning from R1B, single-family residential, to R2, two-family residential, based on the following. The R2 two-family residential zoning classification is an appropriate zoning designation for a systematic development pattern. The change is not out of scale with existing development patterns in this area of the township. The change in zoning would provide a more uniform and consistent development pattern, and the change in zoning would not adversely impact any abutting development.
Support.
Moved by Turner, support by Apone. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, Commissioner Turner?
Yes.
Commissioner Apone?
Yes.
Commissioner Larray?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Yes.
Commissioner Casali?
Yes.
Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Long?
Yes.
Commissioner Deschamps?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Good luck. Or I guess we'll see it. We'll see in a few months with the site plan. Next item under new business is elections of officers. The first, are there any nominations for the chair position?
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Moore.
I nominate you, Jerome Moffett, as the chair, and your term would expire December 31st, 2026. Do you accept?
Well, first, let's get a support.
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 All right. Moved and supported. Yes, I'll accept. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, is there a motion to close nominations?
So moved.
Support.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item is for the position of vice chair. Is there a
Mr.
nomination?
Chairman,
Mr. Pone.
move to nominate Phil Turner.
Support?
Support.
Moved and supported. Phil?
Yes, I'll take it. Thank you.
Okay. Any other nominations? Hearing none, a motion to close nominations.
So moved.
Support?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And then finally, for the position of secretary, are there nominations?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Turner.
move to nominate Raquel Moore as secretary, term expiring December 31st, 2026.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any, do you accept?
I do.
Sure. Okay, just checking. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, is there a motion to close nominations?
So move.
Support?
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Planning Director's report.
Thank you, Chairman. Nobody wanted to stick around for the best part of the show here. So just as part of the Michigan Planning Enabling Act, This act requires the Planning Commission to submit a report of its previous year activities. And in addition to fulfilling the legal requirement, the annual report aims to increase information between staff, boards, and commissions, and the Board of Trustees to also to promote the prioritization of current needs and identify upcoming priorities. With that said, the Planning Department overview is development and sustainability. We, on a day-to-day basis, we issue permits, interpret and enforce zoning ordinance. We work with the Finance Department in doing a yearly capital improvements plan, as you also see as well. We work with the Code Enforcement Department and the Building Department on a blight initiative program, also coordinate state and federal funds, and also interdepartmental collaboration. So we're trying to break down silos. I don't know if you've heard, we are now Building Department, Planning Department, Code Enforcement, and the engineering services are all under one umbrella. So part of this also identifies the vision for long-term use, land use planning, the master plan, municipal campus master plan, Shelby Center District, community visioning, zoning ordinance amendments, GIS systems, and also feasibility analysis and studies. The next couple of pages talk about Planning Commission membership meetings we had this year were a total of 19 meetings, and with our 9 excellent board commissioners here. With that, we also have the Zoning Board of Appeals that we also oversee. 5 members sit on that board, and in 2025, we had a total of 11 meetings. The 7-year development summary, we've been, as far as submissions, have been average last year, as they have been the past 7 years. We have increased in site plans and special land uses by 3 since last year. There was a decrease in signs, and it was only due to elections. In 2024, there was a significant amount of signage required for during that election season, so that's why we went from 623 to 217. Tree permits were increased from 12 to 19. Rezoning petitions declined from 7 to 2. ZBA declined also 85, and planned unit developments also to 1. So across the board, we have processed 359 applications in 2025. With that being said, the 2025 projects and initiatives, administrative support, community visioning, we hold every year, like I said, the Blight Initiative Program, sidewalk maintenance program with the Building Department, municipal campus plan, community development block grant applications for projects, again, capital improvement ordinance, and geographic information system. So the next page is the community visioning, and you can see the 2025 top 10 priorities. They pretty much are consistent with what the residents want, with the 2026 priorities. And what we do is we tackle each one individually and work with the departments that are involved in those projects in getting stuff done around here. So the next few slides give us summary of the Blight Initiative program that we've been working on, the sidewalk maintenance program, including the municipal campus master plan that we've been working with Ms. Casali, Lisa Suda, including the board and our engineers, and Mr. Loray here has been helping us and develop this campus master plan according to the plan that we had, was it 2022, Lisa, was it when we came out?
First started, yeah.
Yeah. In addition to that, the Community Development Block Grant, we allocate funding to public service agencies, including a number of sidewalk and ADA compliant projects over the past year. So every year the township submits 2 applications for bricks and mortar projects. We've been lucky to be awarded all those applications. So every year we receive about $300,000 from the Community Development Block Grant for infrastructure improvements. That being said, again, there's just a little bit more detailed information on the zoning ordinance amendments. And I don't want to glaze over this one, but I really want to give kudos to Nick here for the GIS system. He's very well versed in this system. We've come a long way since Nick's been on board, and he's always coming up with ideas on how to improve this. So not only that, Nick is very technically skilled, so he is working with the building department and the planning department with this Blight Initiative program, and furthermore into getting deep down into the tech and doing a software program between GIS and the BSNA program that we have and that we work with on a regular basis to move us along here with a lot of these projects. So thank you, Nick, for all that you do for the planning department. Also, I wanted to thank Christy because all this is overwhelming. There's a lot of projects going, and I want to tell Christy, because Christy helps keep us straight here. We're all moving in 50 million directions on a daily basis, so I want to thank Christy for all that she does. And Aaron Gear, who's the building and development manager on the building side, I want to thank him as well for all that he does, because these staff members are very valuable to us and do an excellent job on a day-to-day and have come through on any projects that we've asked them to. We also have another important person, and her last day is Wednesday, Raquel Sinawe. She is our intern, and she's been helping Christy with our imaging all of our documents. So we used to store all of our information in boxes off-site. Christy, along with Raquel, have been bringing boxes back from Iron Mountain and scanning all this information that has been stored for years and years and years. So
You couldn't find storage closer than the UP?
So I wanted to thank them both. Raquel has been an integral part of that whole process, and matter of fact, she finished up her last box and is leaving us on Wednesday. So, again, I just want to thank all of our staff members and everybody who helps the wheels turn in those departments.
Great, thank you. Any questions for the planner? Hearing none, is there a motion to receive and forward the 2025 Planning Commission Annual Report to the Township Board for final review and
Mr. Chair,
acceptance?
I move to receive and forward.
I made the motion. But go ahead. No, go.
I move to receive and forward the 2025 Planning Commission Annual Report to the Township Board for final review and acceptance.
Support. Been moved and supported. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. I think we've got one left. Who wants to-
I do have one more thing. I just, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, I'd like to thank the officers for accepting their positions for another year of service, and we thank all the commissioners for their service here on the Planning Commission. It's very important to us, and we need dedicated people willing to serve the community. We thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we go home now, Lisa?
Yes. Yes,
Motion?
sure. I move to close the meeting.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.